Whoa, guys, it's not looking good for Grindavik. It's not looking good at all. There's so much information that I want to give you today about a crack, it looks super scary, as if it's splitting Hagafell in half. And then Thorwaldson and the Icelandic Meteorological Office disagree again what is happening and when it will happen and what will happen. And then we have other news as well. So stay with me. Let's start with the map here. That's the current hazard map. And I want you to look at the name Hagafell, where Hagafell is. I really want to put this into the back of your head so that what you will see right now, that you can really place this so that you see how close this is to Grindavik actually. And I'll also show you a new 3D map that is absolutely stunning because you see the height of the lava, a new map that shows where the lava is from the recent eruption. It's absolutely stunning, but look at Hagafell. And if you have seen my last video, the Icelandic Met Office has said the eruptions are moving south. You see here on the map the Sutnuka crater series where we had the last eruptions, but it is moving south towards Grindavik. And now look at this, guys. There is a massive crack. And the Icelandic newspaper has reported there's smoke from a crack that splits Hagafell. And don't be irritated by this picture. This is not a small thing that is only a few meters wide and long. This is long and this is massive. So if you scroll down here on that website, they report the whole of Hagafell is just a mess. So yeah, look at this. It goes through the hill. It not only goes through the new lava field, it goes up the hill and it cracks it open. So this is a fissure that has already been there before the May 29th eruption, but they're saying it was small and it was on the surface, but it has been growing ever since. And that's why they have invented a new hazard level back in November or shortly after for Grindavik, crack collapse. Because after these massive earthquakes, the cracks have all of a sudden gotten longer, deeper, wider. And that's the risk for Grindavik right now as well. So this crack, they don't know if this is the same crack that also runs through Grindavik. So if they're connected, they're just not open everywhere. So they know this crack. The locals call it, I hope I pronounced this right, Stampholzgja. So there, if you look at the aerial pictures of Grindavik, there are old cracks that always have existed there. So what is happening there? Because if this thing continues to stretch into Grindavik and open there, will lava flow out of this? Will this be a location of the next eruption? One thing that is scary is what they're saying. This thing is in line with the fissure from which the eruption, in line with the fissure that opened, that fissure that went over the houses where the lava flow was destroying the houses. So that is really concerning because that was inside the defense walls. That was basically inside of Grindavik. And what the experts, what the scientists are saying, they confirm, they say, yes, that crack has opened up much more than before. Yes, it has existed before May 29th, but now it has opened even more after the lava did flow over it. So there's another aerial picture that you see here, and they're saying it is in direct line with the last crater that has erupted, right? But it also in line with the crack that opened in January and that took the houses on January 14th. Wow. And also with the crack that did form in that defense wall after the eruption on May 29th. So this is massive and it is concerning because it shows us it is working underneath. Something is going on. And it has also, you see this here, they're saying the crack has split a road in half. And before the eruption on May 29th, it was possible to drive over that road. It's just a dirt road, but yeah. So before May 29th, that crack was small on the surface, but also then something seemed to have been lurking underneath. So before the last eruption, a small cracked, they say, well, you could have stuffed a little bit of stuff in it and then you would have been able to drive over it with a four-wheeler with no problems. But after May 29th, this crack has become so much bigger and has added to the changes in this area that they call incredible. And that's why it's not safe for hikers that want to walk to these eruption sites, because there could be a sudden crack collapse. They could step on something that looks like solid surface and poof, they're down there. And in light of that, we know the land rise under Swartsengi has continued at quite a good rate, so that we're now at about 16 million cubic meters. So Icelandic MET Office says roughly 2 weeks we should be there, then we should see another eruption or intrusion. But volcanologist Thorwaldsen, he often disagrees with the MET Office. He works for the University of Iceland. He said that he noticed a reduction in the land rise underneath Swartsengi, the Swartsengi power plant and the Blue Lagoon, in the last few days. And according to his opinion, that could indicate that a new eruption is imminent, or he's going back to a theory that he has voiced over the last few weeks, that it could be an indication of an end of the volcanic activity. Remember, he has predicted that after the May eruption, that would be the last one, and that in this area, the eruptions would end. So he has been wrong with his predictions as of lately, but we know the magma chamber has been filling up. It hasn't stopped filling up after the last eruption ended. Then we could have said, well, it's not filling up again anymore, so the pipes that coming from the deeper magma reservoir have clogged up. No, it's filling up again. So I think he might not be correct with his estimation that this might be it. So that's why the Met Office says we will see another event, eruption or intrusion. So they say 14 days, and they say this could have a direct impact on Grindavík because the eruptions are moving further south, the earthquakes are moving further south. So even if there's not an eruption directly inside of Grindavík, but what an eruption in the Hagafell area or even south of Hagafell could do to Grindavík, because then the earthquakes would be so close to Grindavík again. Like open cracks like this in Grindavík completely destroy Grindavík with more cracks, sinkholes, make it even more unstable underneath. And that's a big problem. It's already like a Swiss cheese underneath Grindavík. And they already have problems. Is it safe to walk over that road? Is it safe underneath that home? If you've seen my Florida sinkhole video, a guy was sleeping in his house and he was swallowed by a sinkhole and he vanished. And Grindavík also had a worker vanish in a sinkhole. They've never found him. So this is highly, highly dangerous for Grindavík right now. Plus that crack basically doubles down on that risk. That the earth is already telling us, yes, I'm working on it, right? So in the last few days already, this crack that we're seeing here at Hagafell has gotten wider and longer significantly. So that's why some are estimating that this opening of that crack could be connected to a magma intrusion, and that would increase the probability of an eruption. And that's why the Icelandic Meteorological Office, you see here the Icelandic television station and newspaper, they're also reporting that the chances of a magma flow and even volcanic eruptions for Grindavik are increasing in the next 2 weeks. And that's why there's a high risk of damage in Grindavík, even if the magma doesn't reach the surface in Grindavík. And you see here the defense walls, the magma has come out of the last eruption and the lava did flow along the defense walls, and it is threatening to flow over these defense walls in Swartsengi and in Grindavík. They can only increase them that much, and then they have a problem. And here comes that 3D model. There you will see how high that lava carpet is and how widespread. And if it's that high already, and maybe higher than the defense walls in some areas, it's very easy for the lava to push over and flow into Grindavik, especially if the eruption is close to Grindavik. I mean, if it's inside Grindavik, it's game over, most likely, right? But we have to monitor that crack very, very closely because smoke is already coming out of it, right? There's this saying, if there's smoke, there's fire somewhere. Smoke must come from something, right? So look at this article that MBL has published just yesterday. There's the 3D images that show the volume of the lava, so you really see how high it is. And now, when I said to you, keep in mind where Hagafell is, right? You see Grindavik, you see the defense walls, and then here is Hagafell. You see Swartsengi and the Blue Lagoon. You see Grindavík, the access road there that leads into Grindavik. That has been destroyed by lava multiple times in the last few eruptions. So we can see if there is something going on in Hagafell. You see the darker spots that are inside of the defense wall. That's the January crack, and that's what they're relating to, that this could be the same crack that we're seeing in Hagafell. So it's just not fully open everywhere, but imagine. So it could, I don't think it can be ruled out that this will open inside Grindavik, maybe in the same area again, somewhere there. And then the port, you see the port down there. The port is highly at risk then. And the port is the most valuable thing that Grindavik has. And it's also a very important money maker for Iceland, like the Blue Lagoon. But now both is threatened. They have said just a week and a half ago, it'll be tough to defend Swartsengi and the Blue Lagoon in the next eruption. And it'll be tough for Grindavik. But they really said it. It'll be difficult to defend the Blue Lagoon and Swartsengi. They named it. And that they named the Blue Lagoon tells us something, because usually they try to keep the Blue Lagoon out. It's safe, no problem. Please come, put your money in. They always talked about Swartsengi. So last eruption, the wall at Swartsengi was breached, and they were lucky, they said, that the eruption ended because they couldn't hold the lava back. So this time, hopefully they have more equipment to cool down the tongue of the lava. But if there's a massive overflow into Swartsengi, it's going to be very, very difficult. Because if you look at that picture here on top, where the lava did flow over Grindavík, if it flows over the defense wall and you want to keep it away from the west, the only way to protect this is to let it run down along Grindavík, but then it's running towards Grindavik. And then it also will probably create a backflow, as there's already a lava carpet that has a certain height, and then it will flow back probably to Swartsengi again. We've seen this in the last eruption at Hagafell. A lava pond has formed, and then all of a sudden the wall collapsed. It was sending like a water flow, a massive, massive lava river towards the northern defense wall at Swartsengi. And then when this happened the second time, it was really overflowing the defense walls, right? So that volcano is really telling us, hold my beer. So it's not really, really good. So we can only hope and pray that this is not going to be, what can I say, doomsday for the whole area. So there is a second angle from that map where you probably even see it better. So you see Mount Thorbjorn, you see Grindavik, basically all of Grindavik had been surrounded by lava and had been threatened by lava. And then you see the Swartsengi power plant, you see the Blue Lagoon, and then you see the defense walls, and you see how far the lava has come. So it's putting pressure there. If it's flowing there along the northern defense wall, it puts pressure to the south. It wants to flow south. And of course, there's also the risk, if you look to the eastern part of Grindavik, that it could flow into the sea again, which would cause toxic gases. So from the spot where it would reach the sea, it has a 500-meter radius where it's life-threatening should that happen. So it's not far away, but I thought I'll show you this because it looks impressive and it looks massive and it gives us a better picture. And basically you see in the blue lava carpet, that lighter area, that's where we had the most eruption. That's where the lava carpet's really high, basically higher than 30 meters, probably 35 meters, something like this. So the lighter, the higher it is. So the darker blue, then it's not that high. So along the Grindavik defense walls, it is something between, like, I would say between 10 and 20 meters if you look at it. Probably in the east, it's higher. At this corner there, kitty corner there, it's probably even more than 25 meters. And that's a problem. You can't build a wall that is that high. That's why in that area they have built a second wall. You can see that there as well. So if it flows over the first wall, the second wall will catch it. But as I said, look at the darker spots inside of Grindavik. If the fissure opens there and erupts, if that's that fissure in Hagafell, and since it's opening, it has been widening the last few days, the volcano is giving us a hint that probably this is the area for the next eruption, or more south than that, but probably not north of that. So the predictions that the Met Office has made that Grindavik is highly at risk, I think they are true. And I don't think this is over. I really don't think. But in the end, we will see who is right. The science is not far enough that they can make precise predictions, guys. So I hope you liked that update. If you did, please like this video, give it a push out, and check out my videos about Italy. I mean, 4.0 at Campi Flegrei, again, massive earthquake swarm with landslide, videos in the end screen. And Stromboli, massive eruptions again at night, just as of right now. Check this out in the end screen as well, guys. I will keep you updated. It's become an all-nighter again. While I'm recording this, it's 4:15 a.m. I wanted to go to sleep an hour ago, but then I thought, no, I have to show you this. So probably until this video is out, it's probably going to be, I don't know, 6 a.m., something like this. So guys, have a coffee with me later, not now. I have to go to sleep. And thanks for your ongoing support, and of course the coffees you keep sending me. And I'll see you soon, I guess, I hope. Thank you, guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.